Lowndes along with Glenn Seaton starting rear of field. Let's have a look at the way they will line up. An all-shell front row, John Bowe and Dick Johnson. From row 2, the first of the Commodores, it's Larry Perkins and Coca-Cola pilot Neil Crompton.
Third row, Tony Longhurst and Mark Scaife. Then Peter Brock and Alan Jones.
Row 5, Russell Ingall, the first of our privateers, Greg Crick in car number 49.
Less than 10 seconds to the start of Heat 3 of Round 3 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship, and all Shell forward front row, and away they go. Plenty of smoke from the rear tyres of Johnson's car on the outside, but it's his teammate John Bowe who makes a blinder and pushes his way into first position.
Once again, Mark Scaife left to a virtual standstill. There you can see Scaife third last going into the first turn.
The mountain straight for the first time. Howling pack of V8s, one of the pack leader Falcons. Bobby Romano joining from the pit lane. John Bowe in the lead from Dick Johnson. Neil Crompton in third position. It's a good start from the Castrol Falcon of Tony Longhurst in fourth, with Castrol teammate Larry Perkins in fifth. Lights up the rears, getting the power down out of Repco corner up toward VP cutting for the first time.
Certainly a great start from Tony Longhurst, and looking to put pressure early on Neil Crompton, who started the day after qualifying in position number 9. So a very successful day for Crompton.
There goes his teammate Wayne Gardner a little bit further back in the pack, getting caught up in that tangle with Lowndes, and he's going to be really pumped to get his way back to the front of this pack. But with only 10 laps, there's not a lot of time to do some position changing.
And keep your eye on Peter Brock. Misfire that he had in the previous heats has been rectified, and he's making a big move on the Castrol cars.
Oh, look at Dick Johnson. He's really pumped up here. He loves this place. Right up behind the bumper bar of John Bowe. And Crompton follows him through, down through the dipper, this very fast part of the circuit down toward the elbow. And this super quick run onto Conrod Straight.
In between races, I had the opportunity to go down and see the Shell FAI team. I haven't seen a smile on the face of DJ for quite some time, and it was like Luna Park, I guess, as happy as Larry.
Ultra competitive here, as Dunlop Race Cam shows. Second position, looking very, very fast as they turn into Caltech's chase. Hard under brakes, back through the gears, and back toward the bridge once again. Now, John Bowe, keep in mind, he's closed the gap, 28 points. He's closed the gap on Lowndes with 2 heats down, so he's now only 2 points behind Craig Lowndes in the points, 114 to 112. Seaton in third on 82. So John Bowe really going after that points lead of Lowndes.
Great to see from the race cam shot too there from Dick Johnson's car just how well Bowe drives from the front and how well he uses the racetrack.
Tony Longhurst must have had a moment up top. He was placed fourth as they went up the mountain. He's back to position number 7. There he is in the Castrol Falcon once again. Up mountain straight. In front of him, Russell Ingall. Behind him, Alan Jones. And of course, Greg Crick in the Alcare air conditioning entry.
Team manager Ross Stone expected Alan Jones to start making progress as the day progressed. And he's doing it here. Good competitive run, qualified under the lap record.
Got to give full marks to Greg Crick for the drive he's put in here at Mount Panorama today as the leading privateer in the Alcare car. I mean, he's performing dynamite fashion.
He is qualified in position number 12, which is no mean feat for a privateer. Really making his presence felt, showing up some of the bigger budget teams. Larry Perkins, Castrol Commodore VR on screen at the moment. Here's 2 masters of Mount Panorama, Perkins and Brock. Both hail from Victoria, and I would hate to think, Mark, how many laps these two have completed around Mount Panorama between them.
Just about carved their own groove in the road, I think, Andy. And through the S's toward the dipper once again. Brock getting closer to Perkins. This big pack of V8s pick their way down the hill. Longhurst indeed drifting back through the pack. 2:13.2, the first flying lap for John Bowe that time around. And here comes Craig Lowndes, a bit further back in the pack. Brock getting closer to Castrol driver Perkins. So it's the 2 Shell forwards. Then it's Crompton doing a great job in third position in the second Coke car. Perkins and Peter Brock. Down the Caltech's chase. She passed the camera, 290k.
And you get a real feel for the speed from that camera vantage there just before the chase.
It's amazing when you go and stand over next to that fence in qualifying, and these cars are just pushing so much air in a straight line, they're just about to knock you off your feet. Very, very fast part of the course. Get back through the field. There's Brock. There's Longhurst Falcon, the first of the pack leader forwards. And there's Seaton on a great run here. Saw in Heat 2, he ended up against the fence after a very frightening tyre blowout coming up toward Repco, and he's really on a charge.
Yeah, Brad, Seaton's leading the charge from Gardner, Lowndes and Scaife. The first three, of course, started from the rear of the field, and Mark Scaife again having problems from the start.
Well, he's certainly going to have to clear that up, because these short races, you just cannot afford to give away anything. Certainly go from 7th to last. But we've got Seaton here on the screen heading up towards the place that the tyre blew, which I'm sure he gets a bit of a shudder as he turns in there. It's amazing talking to the Bridgestone technician Graham Brown earlier on after that race, and he said that the tyre just had like a big slash in the side of it, so they had no notice it was going to blow, but it seems that he's on top of the thing now.
It's a great charge by Seaton to sneak under the pack leader Falcon there, and he's right up behind the Castrol Ford. He's really got some speed aboard this thing, Ford Credit Falcon. And one of the pack leader cars, Romano, he is not having a good day. Alan Jones' 22-year-old teammate, saw him in the pits in Heat 2, and he hasn't lasted much longer in Heat 3.
Very talented youngster who's fresh out of luck this weekend here at the Mountain. Back with Glenn Seaton, it's race cam. Right ahead. Russell Ingall.
Good competitive run from Tony Longhurst. He's struggling a bit for speed in the opening 2 rounds. The Yokohama tyres. Engine development program continuing with Wayne Jones in this Falcon. And just starting to show a bit of speed at Mount Panorama. He's got Seaton breathing down his neck. Seaton started off at the rear of the grid. He's already up to 9th position, absolutely flying. And Craig Lowndes, who started back there with him, currently in 12th, so they're making a big charge. Talking about a charge. Look at this. Longhurst gives him the finger to overtake down the inside. He knew he was gone. Just tremendous amount of speed.
That's great driving from Tony Longhurst. It really is. Very polite, and Glenn Seaton would no doubt appreciate that. Puts a nice little buffer now between Seaton, who's the first of that gaggle of cars, and Alan Jones and the pack leader Ford. The blue entry.
There's Wayne Gardner, car 4, and look who's behind him, Craig Lowndes.
I don't think you'll see Craig do anything silly this time around. I dare say he's had a quiet chat to a few of the senior members of the Holden racing team. I think you'll see a very cool and calculated drive. Mark Scaife in the Seeger entry, 1 behind Lowndes.
Up the hill, Wayne Gardner in 11th position, Lowndes in 12th. Here's race cam, Seeger Holden race cam, with Mark Scaife, who's just in behind this battle. There's Greg Crick up ahead.
Isn't that fantastic to see, Brad? We've spoken about Greg Crick on a number of occasions, but here he is, a privateer doing battle with Gardner, Lowndes and Scaife.
Oh, look at this.
We're going to have a touch here again.
Lowndes going, have a look up the outside. Saw it on race cam. Scaife takes advantage. He gets inside Lowndes as well. So tremendous racing, 3 deep. Very narrow part of the raceway coming up to a BP cutting there.
On any given day, in any given race, I don't think you would have seen Craig Lowndes concede a place like that.
No, I believe you're right, Andy. I think he's being a little more cautious than he normally would. Big scare when you have a shunt like that. He's, I guess, hopefully acknowledged what happened there and taking it a bit easy.
Well, he's going to have to fight hard. So this man up ahead, Seaton leads him down, pack leader Falcon. Big gaggle of cars behind him. There's Scaife now has sneaked up in front of Lowndes, and we saw Scaife fight tooth and nail with Lowndes all the way at Sandown, proving every bit as aggressive. And Lowndes is going to have his work cut out now. Look at this bunch in front of him. And Crick, as the boys said before, the Alcare Commodore, first of the privateers running up with the big guns. There's Bow, and there's Johnson, and there's Perkins, a bit closer to the leading duo. And Brock in 4th.
They certainly are this time around. John Bow from the outset has dominated. Let's have a look at the Shell race score. Shell, Bow Johnson, Larry Perkins, Peter Brock, rounding out the 5, the Coca-Cola entry of Neil Trotman. Good driving with Larry Perkins.
In that Chevy, revving hard up to 6th gear as they press the rise. Maximum speed. Top gear, almost flat.
The interesting thing here is you've just seen 2 of the fastest cars on the circuit. Everyone readily acknowledges that the Dick Johnson car and Larry Perkins have got, for Holdens and Fords, probably the most amount of horsepower, and there's not much between them. Mind you, there's not much in it. I'm sure, you know, you look at the speed of the Coke car.
Look
or
at this.
Scaife.
Down the inside, Seaton, yeah, attacking. Ingle now gets moved back another position, so Seaton really is climbing up the order very rapidly. That takes him up to 7th position. Keep in mind, he started from the back of the grid. So it's Bow, Johnson, Perkins, Brock, Crompton, Seaton in 6th, sorry, Russell Ingle, Alan Jones, Tony Longhurst, Mark Scaife back in 10th position. So Seaton, after that scary moment in Heat 2, really coming back gangbusters in Heat 3 and desperate to defend that points position. 82 points he has now, with Bow ahead of him 112 and Lowndes on 114, so some valuable points to be made here before they head to Simmons Plains.
One of the interesting things about Glenn's charge up through the field is the tyre rule, which is so complex I won't bother to explain it to you here, but the bottom line is he gets one brand new tyre for this race because he's had one flat spotted or badly damaged, so he would have saved 2 tyres out of his allocation for this race, plus he gets one brand new one, so basically he's only got one tyre on the car that's done a race, which explains in part why he's going so fast at the moment.
And Bradley, which tyre would they have, or where would they have the old tyre?
I'd say put the brand new tyre on the right front because it's the hardest working tyre on the car, and the oldest tyre would be on the left rear because it's the laziest position on the car.
Look how hard Seaton's driving this car. Just at a 14 dead, so he's a bit off that 12-second effort he made a bit earlier in the race. 5 laps completed, 6 laps completed when they come across the start line this time around, so there'll be 4 to go. And he is just throwing caution to the wind. He's driving the wheels off this thing. Absolute maximum speed out of the Ford Credit Falcon. And he's closing in rapidly on the Coke Commodore just ahead of it.
Well, the thing is with Seaton, he's passing cars that he's dicing with, and he's still really going faster than the leaders. So there's no doubt he's carrying a lot of speed, and looks like Neil Crompton's potentially his next victim.
Well, on board with Glenn Seaton. Well, you've had a pretty scary moment in Heat 2, but you're making up for it in Heat 3.
Sure am, Mark. Always make the best rip at the back of the grid, don't I?
You're making some amazing progress here.
Yeah, just got to keep pressing on with these guys. Whoa! But, well, I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Got to catch Neil in front and a couple of others. Haven't got far to go now, but we're running out of laps.
So it must have been pretty tough. You started from the back of the field.
Yeah, just have to be a little bit aggressive, that's all. Get through the crowd, and I got a pretty good run right through it.
Well, you're running 3rd in the points now. You might be able to improve on that by the time this day's out.
Yeah, I'm, like I say, I just got to chase Neil in front. I think I can catch him before the end.
All right, we'll let you get on with it. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
Glenn Seaton hard at work in the office, and that big slide coming onto pit straight just casually controlled with a little flick of the wheel. Just shows the conditions these guys operate under.
The other interesting thing is looking at the Coke car here, Gardner's car and Lowndes' car were obviously a bit more damaged in that accident this morning because they basically started with Glenn and they had the same opportunity with the tyres, but maybe there was a little bit of damage to each car and they weren't capable of coming through the field as rapidly as Glenn.
He's still the fastest man on the circuit at 2:13.3% as he catches this quartet at the front. He's going to get Crompton first. There's Crompton just in right of screen.
Actually, Larry's doing a fantastic job here. He's just been a little bit off the money in the other couple of races, and but there's no doubt in this race he's right on the pace. He probably maybe saved up a couple more tyres or an extra tyre, and but I can't explain his speed, but he's certainly carrying a fair bit of it across the road at the moment.
He's keeping the 2 Shell Falcons honest in front of him. Bow and Johnson not able to open the gap. In fact, Perkins has closed it over the last couple of circuits. 6 laps completed, 7 as they come across the line this time. 3 to go.
Perkins has, in fact, as you said, Mark, closed in a lot on Dick Johnson, who in turn has closed in on John Bow. A few laps ago, Bow had probably the best part of 10 or 15 car lengths.
And
what a
this
battle.
Seaton, gee, he was double this distance away from Crompton last time around. He's really closed the gap quite dramatically. Right on the bumper of the Coke number 7 as they come down toward Murray's Corner. We take race cam with Ford Credit. And he's going to leave it really late. Great under brakes, sneaks up inside Crompton. That's another position and more championship points for Glenn Seaton. Brock really has had a very consistent day here. This will do his championship chase no harm at all. He came into this round in 7th position with only 36 points. So he should get a reasonable haul from the activity today.
And not only that, his confidence. You know, he's had a bad run, some bad luck. You know, the kid's been going very, very quickly, although he's a bit sideways there. Brock's been quick all week. The quickest one in the HRT team, he'd be pretty happy. His car's got a fair bit of smoke coming out of it there in Reed Park. I can't quite understand that. Maybe it's just off the throttle for a bit, but Brock would certainly be relishing the drive that he's had today.
And look at the ground Seaton's made up on this leading quartet. He really is just going so quick. He's about consistently half a second faster per lap. This team, look, he's right onto Brock at this stage.
I don't think any of the leading 4 cars that were going to let him by quite as easily as the other guys. So it'll be an interesting last lap for Glenn. If he's lucky, he might be able to find his way past 1 or 2 of them. But pretty tough going from here.
He's not lacking in corner exit speed. He's certainly got plenty of horsepower, and he carries that with him in a straight line as he tries to get a bit of a draft from the back of Brock's car to set himself up for the final lap. We ride with Glenn Seaton on race cam. There's Brock. There's Seaton. Just brushing the brakes to set the car up for the chase. Whoa! Seaton got right out of shape turning into the corner there. He managed to catch it, but all that hard work has been undone.
Yeah, he lost a lot of speed there.
It just shows how hard he was driving the car. Right on the limit.
Still the only one circulating under 2:14s, Glenn Seaton.
Well, he's been the fastest man throughout this final heat here today. And just when he was looking to close on that 4, a little bit of a lose, and he's lost all that ground. Last lap.
And what a tour de force this has been for the Shell guys today. A 1-2 finish in the 2nd race, and looks like they could be headed for a similar finish here. And John Bauer, can he sweep all 3 heats today in this 3rd round of the championship?
Well, it'll certainly close things up and make it a lot more interesting for us in the next couple of rounds. The championship's now going to be very tight at the front. Craig will have to go away and think about the day. There's plenty to reflect on, and I think it's interesting times. As Wilco said earlier on in the opener, there's a lot to go and a lot of points to be won, and John Bauer's definitely done a great job this weekend.
Well, after the first 2 heats and coming into this 3rd race today, Lowndes still had a narrow points lead, only 2 points over John Bauer, with Glenn Seaton in 3rd spot, 82. So Bauer's certainly going to continue to improve. So is Glenn Seaton. Lowndes isn't going to get too many more points out of this, so it's going to close the championship right up.
That's what John Bauer will be looking for, reigning champ for 2 titles in a row.
The other thing with the Shell cars, they've been having a little bit of trouble with rear brakes at the last couple of meetings, and they've obviously been working very hard at overcoming that problem. And from what we've seen today, they don't seem to have a hint of locking rears or, you know, having half losers or wanting to spin. So they're obviously well on top of that. As Dick Johnson wants a break.
Winding up onto Conrod Straight for the final time in this 3rd race, the final race of round 3 for the Shell Touring Car Championship at Mount Panorama. And Johnny Bauer scoots away as we take Dunlop race cam in Dick Johnson's number 17. Shell Falcon, the wide expanses of Conrod Straight open up before them, coming down into Caltex Chase. John Bauer, good lead, being protected by team leader Dick Johnson. Brock in behind, Larry Perkins, Glenn Seaton, nowhere to go past the 2 Shell cars. They're looking very wide indeed as they come down to the last corner and wind up for the run to the checkered flag.
John Bauer back gear, final time through Murray's corner and across to take the checkered flag. Johnson in 2nd, Perkins in 3rd, Brock in 4th, Seaton managed to hang on for 5th.
The Tassie Devil, John Bauer, does it again. Takes pride of place here in this 3rd and final heat. Round 3, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship from the boss. Dick Johnson, 2nd place. Then Larry Perkins. Peter Brock, Glenn Seaton in 5th position.
6th position was Neil Crompton in the Coke Commodore, Russell Engel in the Castrol Commodore in 7th, Alan Jones in the pack leader Falcon in 8th, Mark Scaife held on for 9th, and Craig Lowndes came back to finish 10th. Don't go away, we've got the presentation.